Hi, this is Lucy, and today I'm going to show you how to build this 1920s Art Deco house. This is an advanced build and you will need a flamer trap and catwalks to build this. If this is something that you are interested in, please stay tuned. So firstly, a quick tour. If you don't recognise this spot, I am at my favourite building spot, which overlooks Newgad and is between Overlook Cabin and Somersville. I really like Art Deco. It was very popular between the First and Second World Wars, between 1919 and 1939, and it started in France. It was basically, to us now, it was new age to them. It was very modern, and often referred to as décoratif moderne. It was a complete change from the sort of Victorian and Edwardian styles, which were very traditional. Think flappers, think jazz, strong geometric lines, aerodynamic curves, bright colours, metals, metallics, chromes. So extremely different from what had come before. So I have seen real Art Deco houses and they are always curved on the outside, and I have wanted to build an Art Deco house for some time, but we didn't really have the building techniques and the decorative pieces to sort of do it justice. I will give you a quick look at the shape of the building. Obviously I built this using a blueprint, and I will show you how to make that blueprint. I left the garden quite simple. Obviously we have this balcony up here. I did manage to curve the railings. It was not easy to get that up there, but I did manage. So this is the sitting room. We have these bright, bold colours. I have used one of these motifs. I used the verdigris one because I thought it went with the green. We have the gramophone. This is obviously our Oscar equivalent. Did find it a bit difficult to find artwork for this build. I used one of these. It looks like a movie poster. I'm thinking the person that lives in this house is someone that works in the movies. I think late 20s, sort of early kind of Hollywood grandeur, Charlie Chaplin, those kind of things. I made this lamp. This is actually the Stein from last season. Yeah, I'm hiding the handle. There were a lot of Art Deco pieces in last season, which sort of gave me the idea to have another go at this. I used the new kitchen set. There have been some issues with snapping the sink that some people have reported, and these top pieces do not snap together. You have to manually line them up. But other than that, I'm actually quite happy with it. Obviously I merged stuff down into this cupboard with the window, so you can see the items I've merged through the window, through the glass door. You can also place things on top of it, which I think is quite nice. I really wish they had given us a cooker. I know we have the one with Yasmin, but to be honest, she is absolutely filthy and I would never eat anything that she cooked. Why did they have to make her so dirty? So this table came from Graham. There are, if you don't know, Graham's got new plans. They're reskins of some old favourites. So this table now comes in a variety of colours. This is the black one. So upstairs we have a rather glamorous bedroom. It was this dressing table that led me to build this, really. I thought maybe I can do it. This wallpaper came from last season. It is actually called Art Deco wallpaper. The bed was a little bit of a challenge. I like the Huntsman's bed, but it is absolutely disgusting. So I merged two of these twin beds together and then merged them down into the Huntsman's bed. Now, you cannot stack these far enough apart. So what I did was I put a doormat on one of them, added the second bed, merged them down, blueprinted the two twin beds, excluding the doormat. And when I placed it, they were placed ready. They were placed in a position that you can't actually place them in. And then I merged them down again. And then I did the same with the Huntsman's bed. You can actually see the doormat here. Sticking out slightly. But I'm quite happy with the effect. I don't know if you know, this is actually, if you use it, you primp and preen yourself and you get a charisma bonus. The bathroom, I went for sort of something glamorous. Unfortunately, because this circular part is only the distance between the walls and the middle, the foundations, it's basically a variant of my small circle. It's the foundations are 3/4 of a foundation apart, so this gap here is only 1 3/4, so I can't put walls up here, so I've used these screens to sort of block it off. Outside here we have our little balcony. I have put these vines up because people faint if I have bathrooms with glass windows in them. So that's what that's for. Outside I just have a very basic outdoor workshop. I mean, overall I'm really happy with it, how it turned out, given the restrictions that we obviously have. So yes. So let's get on with the build. I'm going to show you how to build the blueprint. We're going to start with this foundation here. I like to use this one because we will be rotating it and those very fine lines help, although you can just use the base one. Now going to offset by 3/4, which is a 1/2 and a 1/4 catwalk. And I'm going to use a lined pattern for the rest of the foundations so that I have them all going in the same direction. One here and one on this side. Now we need to put foundations in these gaps here, so we are going to rotate this one 90 degrees using the lines and the ghost of the previous position. You want the gap between the foundations to be the same, which it's not on mine, so I am just going to rotate this. I mean, you can be as... You can repeat it as many times as you want to make sure it's perfect. It will mean that your walls line up better. That's a bit better. If you have a big gap one side and a small gap the other side, you might have an overlapping wall, or you might have a gap in your walls. Right, so now we've done this, we need to add a couple of foundations to this one. It's actually in the wrong place, so we need to replace it so that it is orthogonal with this one, and we can put the directional one on now. if you want. We are also going to add 2 more, like so. And then we are just going to repeat the pattern on the other side. I'm going to change this one. It will be the center one. You can hopefully remove that one. If the foundations are too high, you might not be able to. And we're just going to do exactly the same thing again. We need to rotate this one 90 degrees. Like so. You can remove this one and then just replace it with 2 more like so. So that those 3 in the middle are all going the same direction. We need to add some walls. So just go around and add. I like to use the barn set because it is predictable. And then we need to reverse the direction of these walls. Tend to use a catwalk, it's the easiest thing. Probably easier to use a quarter in some places. Just go around and flip all these walls so that they are basically inside out. Next we need to add some roofs. Now, because the walls are now backwards, we have to add one like that. Make sure when you're doing these that the roofs are going in that direction, but do not use the sloped ones. I did that when I first built this, and when I got upstairs and tried to put a door in the balcony, it wouldn't go in because the roofs were slightly too high and it wasn't giving enough clearance for a door, so I could not get a door in the balcony doorway. So make sure these are flat, make sure that they are going in this direction so that these vertical lines, as I say, are going in, not this way. So you should have roofs that look like this. Now, to save us a bit of flamer trapping later, I'm going to do a little trick. And I'm going to put a wall here. And I'm going to put a wall on the end here. And then just add a roof in the middle. And what will happen when we place the blueprint is we can lift this roof up. I mean, if you think that you'll have problems figuring out which one it is, turn it to a different colour temporarily. Like so. We'll be able to lift that one up and remove the additional wall. Now, in an ideal world, we'd be able to blueprint the entire house, and it would work in theory, but the problem with blueprints is they have a budget, and to do the whole house is actually beyond the limits of the budget. The budget is not big enough to do the whole house, which really annoyed me. So when we put the upstairs on, you will have to flamer trap the roofs. So, blueprint all of this. Tend to select one piece and then just press left button and it will select these chunks. Create your blueprint. I have to say this every time. I do not play on PC. I am playing on cloud gaming. This is my Xbox account. Now, I would suggest that before you get rid of all of this, you check that your blueprint has all the pieces that you need. You haven't missed anything out. And the other thing is, I would go to a workshop and make sure that it will go down before you lift all of this up. Unfortunately, there is not enough space to actually place this blueprint. To place your blueprint, what I tend to do is just as a guide, you do not want to snap this to a foundation. But I kind of line a foundation up with the road just as a guide. Then take your blueprint and try and place it so that it's roughly square with the road. I always try and get these as low as I can, but they do not always want to go low. So there we have our blueprint. We can, as I said, lift that, remove that wall. It would have been so great if we could have done the whole thing, but it was not to be. Now you will notice that there is quite a bit of glitching. Now there is a solution. There is a solution, which is when you turn the centre foundation 90 degrees, that you lower it slightly. Now I have come a cropper with this a few times because you have to lower it so little that you can't actually see whether you've lowered it or not. You may have lowered it too much. You may have lowered it not enough. So I'm actually coming to the conclusion that I'm going to cover the glitching with rugs, because having to redo a blueprint over and over again because of that, and it's not going to get rid of all of the glitching, so it kind of seems pointless, but it's up to you. Right, we need to add 2 more foundations, one there and one there. And I filled, obviously these walls are just a double wall here and a double wall here. And I'm going to add glass walls. Now I couldn't double wall these walls, which is why I used the glass. You can use either set. I just used this set. And we have the first story done. It's getting a bit dark. I will be back in a minute. So next I'm going to finish off this roof by just putting 3 roofs straight across the middle. And now I did use this set for the upstairs, so I'm going to put these on now. And you can convert all these to whatever set you want. We are going to be removing this one. This is the front of the building. I mean, obviously you can do it elsewhere. If you're not sure which one you've selected, put it in the upright position and get rid of it. And you will need the next one along as well, I think. Next, we're going to do the next story. I'm not going to double wall it till the end. There are a few little bits and pieces. It's much easier if you don't do it till the end. So just go around and add upper. Now we're going to want to put a wall here, but there is no wall underneath, so temporarily put a wall underneath. We're going to put 2 half walls in there. Now you may find that you can't get that out until you flamer trap them, but we will be double walling, so we can leave that till later. We are going to want a double wall here. May as well put that in for the porch, for the balcony entrance, and a couple of glass walls on top to mirror the bottom. Right, roofs. I used the enclave roof, flat obviously. Now, because we couldn't include this in the blueprint, what it means is that you are going to have to flamer trap these roofs to be able to get other roofs over the top of them. Unfortunately, lifting them doesn't work. You do need to flamer trap. Or if you have a friend, you can get in PvP and get them to destroy the roofs. For 1-story roofs, for a roof on the top of a story, I tend to use a toilet and flamer trap on top of that. Now when you get to this point, you're obviously going to be doing one at a time. If you can't get your flamer trap in there, just add a roof on the lower story and you should be able to do it. Oh, come on, you pain. You can, if you want as well, usually just pick up the entire roof and move it like so. And then finish off with one attached to this one. Do exactly the same on the other side. So your roof should look like this. We need to flamer trap these two. Put your flamer trap on a regular stash box, and somebody questioned why I power up my flamer trap. If you've seen some of my older videos, you will know that I never used to. The reason is, if you're in build camera mode, it means you do not have to come out of build mode to activate it. Once those are flamer trapped, take that out. Actually, before you take it in, you want to double wall it so we can double wall above. So, double wall like so. You will need to flamer trap this again so that we can get the walls underneath out. Remove the lower walls, remove the catwalk first. Be very careful when working on these buildings, because obviously if you delete a foundation, especially one of the curved pieces, you will have to start again. Right, it's starting to look like a house. We are going to put a staircase in. And it should just slot in there like so. You can swap it up for whatever you want afterwards. Now, before I double wall, I am going to put the garden section on. Now, if you add a foundation to this foundation, you will not be able to remove it. So, take a catwalk, a whole one, snap it on there, and then add a foundation. I am going for this AstroTurf. Remove the catwalk, lower this foundation, add another one, making sure it's snapping to this one and not this one. For the other side, so that they're all level, just walk them over like so. Remove the one in the middle. Now, we want, these are offset. I'm actually going to be in the way. We want it the same height, so we are going to offset by a quarter here. I think I used, well, we'll just use the base set for now. You can change it to whatever you want. Like so. Remove these ones, and now we have this. We can just quickly add some steps, and obviously if you want more steps, you can put more steps in there. They will go through foundations. Right, before we put the hedges on, we are going to try and double wall. Now, I have had a bit of a problem with this today. No, it's not working. If you find that you can't get the double wall on here because of this foundation, just move this foundation out temporarily. and go around and double wall. Now, I had a problem this morning, and by the way, when you put it back, make sure that you attach it to this one. I had a problem this morning because it would not double wall at all with a catwalk. I couldn't even get it to double wall with a door. Now, I have people say to me all the time, oh, I've tried this on PlayStation, I've tried this on Xbox, even though I actually play on Xbox. Now, 99% of the time, it's you. I'm sorry, it works. However, for people that build all the time, you will know that one time in 100 or 1,000, occasionally you will log onto a server and you will do something you've done hundreds of times before, and it's not working. And you think, oh my god, the game's been patched. Something's going wrong. Sometimes the server does this weird glitch where some things do not work. The solution is to log off and try again. Even restart your console or your PC. So, this works. But this morning, I could not double wall at all. I went downstairs, got on my Xbox, tried it worked fine. Came back, restarted everything. Now, in the past, and I actually started doing it this way on here, I have had a problem getting these on with double walls. But because of this curve here, because of this gap, it's allowing me to put these on. If you have a problem and you can't put these on, take the double wall off. Put this on, flamer trap it, then the double wall will go on. Right. One more quick tip. If you're doing it on these curves and you want to remove the catwalk, check on the top right that it says catwalk. Do not delete a floor because we're back to square one again. You have to start again. Once you've got all your walls on, repair all, which apparently I've already done, and you should have pretty much your finished building. There's one other little thing that we need to do, which is we have a gap here. How you fill this gap is up to you. What I did was I took 3 of these, put them really close together, created a blueprint. I'm not doing a very good job of this, I'm just showing you. I would suggest you do it actually up against one of the lines on the foundation. I've moved my position so I can't. With these, if you place one, don't move your controller at all and just place another. It should stack immediately on top. So I created the blueprint. Created this blueprint and I just filled in the gap. Do this before you put wallpaper on. Can be a bit of a pain to get them lined up exactly, and it doesn't want to go as close as you want it to go because, you know, it's a pain. If you can't get it lined up, take these off, do them again afterwards. It's, you know, sometimes it will work and sometimes it won't. You can move the roof up, that can sometimes help, but take these off if it doesn't work. It's going to be a pain because I'm recording, because it knows, but that is pretty much what I did. But I mean, you don't have to fill the gap with this, you can fill the gap with anything. So yeah, there's a bit of a gap there. So whichever method you want to try. Wallpaper. Well, actually, windows. I used the Fashionette set windows. Because they looked like 1920s windows to me. Well, it's the closest we have. And I basically did every other one. The rest are just plain walls. Wallpaper, I used this white cladding. Modern home wallpaper, apparently. And we have names of things now. We have names of build sets. So that when someone asks me on an old video, what build set's that, and I can't remember, I don't have to spend half an hour Googling it. I can actually just look it up in the game, which is kind of useful. I am actually missing a roof here. It was when I was having my nothing will double wall problem, but it will snap straight in. Oh dear. I use black tile. I mean, you don't need to use these pieces. It's up to you. Whichever you fancy. And I used it in the kitchen. So, pretty much the decor is up to you. I mean, the wallpapers I used upstairs, I used... is it this one? Art Deco Theatre wallpaper. This came from the last season, and I can't even remember how many we're up to. Season 10, season 11. And the one in the bathroom was actually a very old wallpaper that we got when the Shine stuff dropped. So yeah, pretty much primordial. The Shine wallpaper. If you don't have it, use black tile. There is also a similar, but the Fashionette one might work. Whatever you want. So, I am pretty much done in every possible way. If you have any questions or queries, please let me know down below. Hope you liked the build. It was the closest I could get to a 1920s Art Deco house, and overall I'm quite happy with it, given the limitations that we have. That's all from me today. Thank you for watching.